here. Come on. It's so slow. There it goes. Okay. Boink. Back over here. Then let's do this one.
Commence primary ignition.
Hey, this is Katie O'Brien, and you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network. Badass, Katie.
She's the best.
She's so awesome.
Hi, everyone. Happy Rebels. Happy Monday, Rebels. Happy Rebels Day.
It's been a while. Yeah, we have to get back into the thing. So it's...
Exactly.
We're happy that Rebels are back.
I'm still in the mode of celebrating autographs and all that. But we are back officially.
Yeah, you guys definitely did your homework on that. That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to do it. For anyone who's just tuning in, hi, everyone. Yes, get the tissues ready. It's going to be an emotional episode of Rebels Revisited. While we were away for those few weeks, we were covering autographs related to the VCN family vacation, which is just 3 weeks away. Okay, there we go. Ooh, 3 weeks. Hey, John, or Notman.
Notman, good to see you. I haven't seen him in so long.
I think he's on. You're coming to the vacation, right? Or San Diego Comic-Con, or some combination thereof. I will be out in California for a portion of both.
Did you guys see that Beeline Creative that Geeky Tiki is going to have an Ahsoka set of like the mini shot mugs? And it's Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, and Thrawn.
Oh, that's really cute. I like Geeky Tiki. I bought my husband Jason the Jabba the Hutt, like big one, and it came with a little Bib Fortuna shot glass because he loves Bib, and there's not a ton of Bib merchandise out there. And when I saw that he was packed with Jabba, I was like, you know what? Everyone needs a Jabba the Hutt Tiki. The thing is, it's more like a mixing bowl kind of size. It's not really like a drink. It's almost like a punch bowl situation because Jabba's oversized. And then Bib is like a very cute shot glass.
It's a dipper.
Yeah, I'll see if Jason can bring me the paraphernalia while we're waiting. All right, so John or Notman, I guess I will see you on vacation. Yay. Anthony, welcome. Are you coming to the family vacation? We're going to do this for everyone who joins now. Spencer, are you going to be at the family vacation?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Hey,
Hi,
Sherry. Anthony will not be there.
Same.
We'll have lots of photos posted throughout, so you can keep up with all of our antics. And true for San Diego Comic-Con as well. I keep reminding people I'm going to be there for like a portion of Comic-Con, but I know that we have quite the crew going. I know Jeff. So Jeff is producing for us tonight. Jeff, you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, right?
I'm only doing a day and a half, but yes, I think that will be plenty leading up to that week of madness.
Yeah, week of madness is the right description.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I have a ticket for Sunday. And we'll be there most of the day outside, likely on Saturday, and there for the meetup at the Omni Hotel bar Saturday night, and then we'll probably be doing a lot of cosplay on Sunday and trying to get out midday to get back up here to LA for the screening of Deadpool that a billion friends and family will be at, and
I will be at that. Deadpool Wolverine at the Chinese, which is incredibly exciting.
PCL Chinese in IMAX. It's amazing theater. It's a giant screen. It's one of the biggest ones. I think it's probably the biggest one on the West Coast, if it's not bigger.
Amazing. Meanwhile, ask and you shall receive. My awesome husband. I'm going to see if I can get this the lighting.
There you go.
There we go. Now it's in focus.
So
That's
crazy.
Bib Fortuna, the shot glass. Look at how good that looks.
That's cool.
It's amazing for
Isn't that
something so
neat?
tiny.
I
Didn't
love
they do
this.
an
And look,
update with Jabba and a Salacious Crumb one? That was like
is there a
shot glass?
Salacious Crumb also?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. We love Bib in this household. We are a Bib stan household. I think he's the most evil personal assistant in the world.
Seriously.
And Jason's been an administrative assistant before in numerous jobs. So as sort of a spirit animal. Yeah. So San Diego Comic-Con, I'm glad you mentioned, Jeff, the meetup. We've not talked about this enough because there's so much happening with the family vacation. But if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, our meetup is Saturday night at the hotel, the Omni Hotel, right?
Right across the street. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So same location we had it last year, and I think we had like 40 or 50 people. It was really impressive. It was a ton of fun.
It was definitely
so
over
hopefully-
30, so it was a full house in that area.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm just looking at the comments right now. Sarah, yes, we will definitely sit near each other, either at Deadpool Wolverine or at the meetup or wherever else. Lori, I'm sure I'll see you there.
Hi, Lori.
Notman, I have never been to the Chinese. This will be my first time. I have walked outside of it because every time I've been in LA, one, you can't just like walk in usually. Like I know it's like a functioning movie theater, but there's always some event or some nonsense. And every time I've been in the general vicinity, I've never been able to get inside of the Chinese. So I'm making it a point Sunday as I leave. I'm actually going to San Diego Comic-Con on Sunday, and then I'm going to take the train up. And then meet everyone in Hollywood for that. So it's going to be. I'm going to have to post all my travels on social media. So one, everyone knows I'm alive because I'm traveling solo, kind of like. Yeah, it's a little wild.
In between stops, but here's the info for the meetup in San Diego on Saturday night. And
yeah, so the Omni Hotel.
It's called the Ace Porter Bar, I think, and restaurant now, instead of the one it was previously called the West Coast Social Bar or something like that. Mm-hmm. But they've since remodeled and updated the name, so we will be likely in there or in the lobby or right around that area somewhere, depending on how much they'll accommodate us. We will see. It's a new venue, sort of, so it's going to be maybe it'll be a little different than last year, but hopefully it'll be roughly the same, and we can kind of take over the backside of the space.
There needs to be like I know how big it can be once you walk through that, get through the lobby and get into like the area. They have like that seating area, or at least
it's a really long, like there's a bar when you come in right on the right side, and then the space is very long and rectangular and goes to the left. And there's even an upstairs area, so we can see what space we can sort of fill in. Or what they'll let us, accommodate us with, having the knowledge that it will likely be pretty packed.
It's going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, but we took over quite a bit of space last time, so we'll see what's available.
Spencer, Mark needs a shirt that says "Traveling Solo," but in like the Han Solo font. Just to get on that.
Just a portion, because I'm flying out. Spencer and I are actually on the same flight. And then we're taking a car in together to San Diego on Saturday. So Saturday, we both arrive on Saturday. But Sunday, he'll already be on his way. And then I make my way up to Hollywood. So I'm staying over in San Diego just one night. And then heading out Sunday to then meet up with the crew for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of it all. Because it's a lot going on, which is very, very exciting. And of course, for everyone who's not going on the vacation, we don't want to make you feel the FOMO. We will keep you posted though on everything we're doing. And also there'll be some scheduling updates. So weirdly enough, so many people who are on the trip are hosts that the Thursday night watch along literally has no hosts left. So
it'll be me
and me. So Ashley and I are going to be running the Thursday night watch along without Spencer, Jeff, or Dave.
Well,
so
I'll still be in my normal area. I have work the next day. I won't be taking that Friday off, so I'll be here so we can do a threesome.
Okay,
and,
great.
Take the pressure off, as it were, and Dave and Spencer can have their travel time, and everyone else can
they'll be in the comments
catch it later.
Yeah.
That too.
We're gonna block them as they come in. Be like, enjoy the vacation.
Click.
So
happy.
we have not yet decided on our topic, but I said I wanted to do something super weird and maybe like a panel we haven't watched before, like something that hasn't been covered. So I'm still digging, but we'll be announcing soon what that watch along will be. And I think we're going to try to pre-record Rebels Revisited on that Monday, but
Yeah,
more to come. More to come.
we'll figure
Yeah,
it out.
trying to get the pre-record for Rebels in there as well might be a little bit of an issue, but I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, I want to. I feel like if that's done, then we don't have to worry about being live on Monday.
No.
Yeah, so we're working all that that way. Like for anyone who is not on the vacation, there's still programming throughout the network that whole week. The Nerf Herders are going to be on that Wednesday. We'll be running the watch along on Thursday. Jedi Archives and Unifying Force Rovers pre-records anyway, so we'll be set. We won't be neglecting the channel while everyone is out on vacation. So
Definitely not. Yeah, it's gonna be good no matter what.
yeah, it'll be a good time. Thinking about the week in Star Wars, obviously it's all about the Acolyte. And last time we were on air, it was before we got to see Manny Jacinto nearly naked on our screens. And
It's
really
like
making
Kelsey.
yeah, it's like making everyone reevaluate all their training regimens at the moment.
And he's like, "Hey, Osha, my eyes are up here."
Yeah,
The whole time I'm like, "Girl, just look him in the eyes."
Someone was talking about how the dark side is meant to be seductive, right?
Yes.
Like that's always been a thing, and this was like visually seductive. He's like, "Oh, I'm actually like tempting you with my body," and I thought that was an interesting twist because it would usually be like the female character doing that. Also, notice his back. The scar looks a lot like a lightsaber whip to me.
Yep.
So I'm curious to see what we find out about our girl on Wednesday with her lightsaber whip and what her connection is to all of this, because I think she's the one who expelled him from the order.
Oh yeah, and she knows exactly what's going on based on how the manner of which that these Jedi were killed. It's all familiar to her, and she's like, she knows exactly what's going on.
Vernestra Rowe, Queen of the Cover-Up. Sarah, I would die if I had to watch that with like anyone in my bloodline family.
Oh my God.
Like it was so yeah.
When I was 14, I had to watch Austin Powers with my mom and stepdad.
Oh no.
No, don't do that.
At 12 years old, I sat in a movie theater next to my dad watching Porky's.
Oh
and that was an experience. I
Oh.
learned some new terms that I hadn't learned yet as well.
Yikes. And that movie's like explicitly like
Oh,
a
big
sex-based comedy. This
Yeah.
is Star Wars. You're expecting like pew pew and lightsabers, then all of a sudden it's like, why is he naked? So which by the way, I'm not complaining. I will
By
say
the way,
the most
sorry, that line where he's like, "Well, since you're not gonna join me," I'm like,
I know. I was like, we don't do that in this universe. We just pretend and like somehow someone gets pregnant once like in a generation.
they use the Force.
Yeah. But the thing that I think is so interesting is there's so many people who hate this show, right? For no reason. All the crying, whiny fanboys or whatever. And they actually don't know how to respond to like Manny Jacinto's nudity and like seductive actions on screen. It's so jarring for them because like they can hate a lot of things and it's like, oh, a woman has agency. Oh, a person who's not white. But they don't know how to deal with like, why is this man naked on my TV? And it's just funny to watch the fumbling of it all. Like it kills me. So,
Thank you, Sarah. See, you get it, girl. You get it.
Yeah. I
was
found
like,
the
wait a minute,
episode.
did I hear that right? And I backed it up and turned on the captions, and I was like, oh, I heard that. Okay, I'm not going nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was definitely some people being like, do I need to work out more or am I discovering some things? Meanwhile, what I love about Manny Jacinto is if you've watched The Good Place, which is probably the thing he's like best known for, he was always like a lovable himbo. And one of the real like hearts of the show. I love his relationship with oh my god, the robot girl, Janet. So he's got range and he's really delivering like in this role in a way that I did not expect. I didn't expect that he was going to be the standout of the show, frankly.
Yeah, I agree, Jeff. It's been so great, and like none of us expected it to go this route, but
Yeah. He's
Um,
the breakout star of the show. I do want to highlight Sherry's comment about Amanda being on The View. I didn't watch it, but I don't even need to know exactly what happened, right? I mean, she released a song about the hatred she received, and she turned it around like that. By the way, like she's Kendrick Lamar. Um, I I don't understand how we're this many years into this. Like The Force Awakens was
14.
2014. We're
Yeah.
10 years removed from that. When I remember when people were just annoyed that there was a black
2015.
stormtrooper. Like, and we're still dealing with this.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I
Yeah.
just
It makes me
it,
embarrassed.
it
Like,
does, but it's like it's not embarrassed as myself. It's embarrassed for them, really,
I know.
because it's like you're still doing this. Like you are those older nerds who are pissed off about the prequels and about Solo and about Rogue One. Get over it. It's never
Yeah.
going to be what you want. If it is, make your own Star Wars. Leave us alone.
Yeah. I think like as a big Star Wars nerd, I can tell you that when I talk to someone outside of our circle and within the Star Wars fandom, there'll be
Yeah.
times when I'll talk about like I'm a Star Wars person and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that fandom's terrible." And I'm like, "True." Also, every fandom is terrible, it turns out, as you look at the layers to it all, or at least the ones who are like loud on social media because it
Right.
monetizes. Like the really angry YouTube videos, like that just sort of use clickbaity headlines to say shitty things, always make a ton of money. That's true in every fandom. So it's not unique to Star Wars. It just sucks because it's like I'm enjoying the show, as I've said,
Yeah.
and I actually really liked the last episode because it was like a slow burn kind of response to the insanity of episode 6. Was episode 6 the insane one? And no, episode 5.
5.
And now episode 6 was the slow burn. 7 is this week. 8 is the following week.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was a good follow-up to what had happened in the week before. I will say though, I've been on record, I love Amanda. This Parent Trap twin thing situation is not working. So that for me is the thing that's like legitimately not working in the show. I like the mystery. I like the dark side. I like all the Jedi killing. I'm a big fan of the action. I like the lore. I'm wondering what's up with Vernestra Rowe. I don't think this dyad and the Force twin switching places, whatever is it's not landing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult, and especially where we're at now, because we see Elsha getting tempted by the dark side, right down to like putting on that helmet.
Yeah.
Which was
By the way,
creepy as hell.
I put on that helmet immediately. One, I'd be in the pool with Manny Jacinto and be like, "Yeah, you just tell me what's up next." And then put on the helmet. Whatever you like, sir. Yeah, I'm very look. I'm gonna be. I already told you though. I know the dark side's like the shortcut answer to everything. I'm in. Like I don't care what else is going on. The Jedi are annoying.
He is the dark side. So
Yeah, we're into it.
there's a reason why he goes by Darth Von Olin. Just saying.
Exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm wearing my Gambit T-shirt that I
Look
finally
how
got the
cool this is, guys.
ish, but it needs to be sleeveless as I'm looking at it. Like it doesn't work with the sleeves. It is a crop top, but I'll spare everyone the like it does pull up, but it's not really true public appearance ready. It's like it's too ridiculous, but it is a very cute shirt, and I'm just loving
Love it.
that X-Men is getting this much attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
All right. So what else in the news space did we want to? Oh, Agatha. That was the news that dropped today. So for
That
all of our
is
other Marvel
freaking
nerds out there,
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
yeah. I loved it. I realized it's just a trailer, and trailers can be deceiving, but based on this cast, first of all, it's some gay guy wrote the show clearly because like look at the casting. I mean,
Patti
it's every fabulous woman that every gay guy
Yes.
loves. You know how it's like you've seen the meme and it's like, yeah, you've seen the meme, right? Where it's like, oh, my kid can't be gay. He's obsessed with women. And then they show you the picture of the women. It's these women. it's them. It's Patti LuPone.
Aubrey Plaza.
It's Catherine Hahn. It's Aubrey Plaza. It's going to be so fun. Yeah. Who's a native New Yorker. And I saw her do stand up before SNL. So like I know her from like her like one woman show kind of days. She's amazing.
Exciting. And I love how the trailer starts off with very much like the mayor of of Windtown.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mayor of Easttown.
Easttown, that's it.
Yeah.
And it starts off like that. And it's like, oh, we found a body, and she's like a police detective in one of those like shows.
Looks
and
like Wanda, that body.
Dark
Don't you,
fingers.
don't you think like Wanda dying or dying air quotes at the end of Doctor Strange certainly weakened whatever spell she had over Agatha, if not fully ended it. So Agatha's obviously crawling her way out of whatever magical prison she's encased in. She's going to meet up with all these other fabulous women, and Billy, who is Wanda's son, who becomes Wiccan,
Wiccan,
who we
yeah.
know in the comics is gay and dates Hulkling. They have a huge story together, but he's a teenager in this, and he's got nail polish. They're queer coding him at the
I
very
like when he's like,
least. So yeah, we got a good gay gasp. I was all into that, and that kid's from Heartstopper, so he's all.
Yeah.
I think he's gay in real life, but he certainly played gay on TV. And so we're getting all the, and it's super campy. I mean,
there's
I'm
some
in.
freaky moments. There's some like
Yeah.
Exorcist inspired stuff with like the crab crawl.
That was
There's-
amazing. That looked like Catherine Hahn looked like crazy in that shot.
I love how like you hear Aubrey Plaza. Oh, where's she going? What's she doing? Oh my god, in the background, and it's just so great. I love that we also have Deborah Jo Rupp back into it. We saw her like struggling to get out of the hex in the first episode and save her husband.
Yep.
And it's just obviously really affected her. So I wonder if she was drawn to Westview because it had like a central located group of witches, or if the force of her magic made these women. So
this is going to be the big question. Did any of these women have magical powers before? Because she would be a resident of Westview who didn't seem to know anything about magic, but now is she going to join Agatha's coven? By the way, if Agatha came along the same way that Manny Jacinto coming along and being like, hey, join the dark side with me. If Agatha was like, hey, come join my coven, we're going to go cast some magic. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, who's saying no to these people? Get on board.
Crazy.
Screen Crush had a great breakdown of the trailer, so
they did.
I haven't watched it yet.
Check that out for sure. They're always pretty in depth, and they bring up things that you overlook very easily.
I like Ryan Airy a lot. He knows his references, and I agree with Sherry over here. Patti LuPone, she could just get up there and read the phone book. I've seen her on Broadway. I saw her in Gypsy, which she won the Tony for. She's like a force like no other, of course. So her going toe to toe with Catherine Hahn should definitely be a moment.
But also, like, based on the comics, Rio, who's Aubrey Plaza's character, like, I guess she had a relationship with Agatha, so they're kind of, I don't know, she's saving Agatha for reasons unknown, but obviously we can tell that Agatha has, like, her purple magic, and Rio has her green magic, so...
Okay. Well, yeah, I did see she wore a lot of green. Relationship like familial or friendship or dating or
like dating, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, she's in the comics, and
is this going to be the gayest show from Marvel? I mean, it's so far. I mean, look, the bar's low.
I don't know.
The bar's low, kids.
I don't know.
Yeah, we get one confirmed lesbian, and it like will jump into the top spot, obviously.
Yeah.
Other than America Ferrera. Oh my God, America Chavez. We don't really have a queer character, an openly queer character in Marvel as like a superhero. Agatha. Here's the thing. I want to see magic. I want to see crazy, stupid shit. I want it to make very little sense. And I want no men watching. Truly, it's like this is for the girls and the gays. And if anyone else wants to watch, they're invited, but you're not obligated. Don't worry your pretty little heads. Like, that's my take on this. Like, they know who they're making the show for, and that's who's going to tune in. And as long as we don't get the same type of hatred that we got for the Acolyte, like, great.
Yep, I will take it any day.
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to have big implications for the rest of the MCU. Like, maybe it'll tie back to Wanda, but who cares if it doesn't?
If you don't like it, it's not for you. That's all there is to it.
I think this trailer, too, is going to tell people this is not for you. Like, I remember when the WandaVision trailer dropped and people were like, what the hell is this? And I was like, it's probably not for you, but I'm in. Like, when they dropped that Daydream Believer sitcom, whatever was happening, I was like hooked immediately.
Yes.
And then I knew all my other friends who were like just super into like the true superhero stuff, like, were like, oh, this doesn't look like it's for me. And I was like, I promise it's not. And so that's the thing about, I think, all of these big franchises, there can be slices for everyone. Like, I think The Acolyte is really serving the High Republic fans, and I think a lot of the, we'll say, air quotes, mainline fans have tried to watch and didn't really like it. And I was like, all right, well, it's not built for you. The same way it's like the Young Jedi adventures are not built for me. Like, I'm not a 7-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. It's geared towards those that it's supposed to be geared towards, and if it's not working out for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, it's got a clear point of view, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at the time. We are already at the halfway point, and we have
Yeah.
not even talked about Star Wars, or I should say Rebels. We did talk about the Acolyte. What to say about tonight's episode that we're gonna watch? That hasn't already been said, right?
It is the aftermath.
Yeah. This is, I mean, we watched Jedi Knight several weeks ago, and in fact, we took a long break because of celebrating autographs. So everyone's had plenty of time to grieve. This is
Yeah.
the grieving episode. So it's
Yeah.
actually like a little bit slower and a little bit more introspective and a little more dialogue heavy. There's not a ton of action, but it is, I think it's an important episode. You rarely get this, right? Like where a major character dies and then there's like a moment to breathe and just like take it all in.
Yeah, Anthony. It's probably the first time we see characters like really mourn, other than Luke Skywalker. They're like, oh, Obi-Wan was my teacher and he died. I knew him for like 3 days.
Mhm.
But it was just kind of it's more than that. We see Hera mourning the love of her life. We see Chopper wanting what's best for her, but mourning with her, and just Ezra realizing that he's on his own, and any further training to be a Jedi is on him, and the Force finds him. So it's everybody just kind of finding their own path and grieving in their own way in this episode.
Yeah, and everyone does it slightly differently. And yeah, we get a full view of the crew of the Ghost sort of getting the news, or I mean, they were all kind of there, right? But everyone gets their own little moment on screen to really feel it, which is nice. Oh, I'm seeing your cat on screen. Hicks was here a minute ago, but he did not meander onto camera.
He's like, you're talking about somebody else. Go away.
Exactly.
It's okay,
Yeah, I think for anyone who's keeping an eye on Rebels season 4, the way we are right now, we're in our rewatch. There's a lot of ups and downs, and I think one of the things that season 4 does really well is that it brings you to the brink. Like we get Jedi Knight where Kanan dies, and it's like, okay, even before episode 1, everyone was like, well, there can't be more Jedi; they'd have to die. And then we live with these characters for years, and it's like, well, there's no way they're going to kill him, right? And then they kill him. So it's the kind of thing where it hits and it lands, and then we have to deal with it. And then there's like still 6 episodes left or whatever it is. So how are they going to wrap this up without him? We get to see how everyone has to carry on with their life after like a traumatizing loss, which a lot of us have to do in real life, but we don't always get to see that reflected on screen.
Did you see the little clip of Freddie that I sent in the group chat where he was talking about?
Yeah, it was. When was that? That was days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I saved it, but it's Freddie discussing how he felt any further Kanan appearances would be after Kanan's death, and it was just kind of, he was right, but it was just kind of off-putting because I was like, man, you love Star Wars, like why are you going this way?
Yeah, he just doesn't want to. He's like, it's over, and I get it. I was watching Eric Voss from New Rock Stars talk about Inside Out 2, and he was like, full disclosure, my wife worked on this movie, so it's going to be hard for me to be objective. Turns out the movie's great, so there's nothing to be objective about. Inside Out 2 is a masterpiece. I loved it. I cried in the theater. I felt all the feelings. Jeff, I felt like, as someone who's had a good amount of anxiety in my life, and when like the anxiety attack hits, I was like, I felt that moment. Like everything about anxiety makes so much sense, and so much logical sense in the beginning, and then when it spirals out of control and stops making sense and starts becoming a problem, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, like this is too real. But that movie is incredible, and Eric talks about what was he saying now? How one of the things the writer said they didn't want to do was go back and bring back the imaginary friend from Inside Out 1,
Bing bong.
because that is such a bing bong, such a devastating moment in the first movie. And if they did, it would cheapen everything that happened in the first movie.
Absolutely.
Freddy kind of has that same idea that like his send off was so powerful in Rebels that any appearance after this is going to undo that. And I get where he's coming from. I don't know if I 100% agree, because I do want to see more Freddy and more Kanan, but I commend him for sticking to his convictions.
He said that coming back to do the voice in Rise of Skywalker and then coming back in Bad Batch, that was a favor. And he's done. Like, he's not doing that anymore because he doesn't want it to cheapen it.
Of course. And look, him having a voice in episode 9 was great because we knew he was dead, and he was grouped with a bunch of other dead Jedi, which was awesome. And then in Bad Batch, it was a nice surprise out of the gate, being like, oh yeah, don't forget about us. Like at Order 66, I was also there. Like, I didn't think that was a problem. So
but apparently he thought it was. He goes, I'm using my man voice to voice a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, he could have pitched it up slightly. Anthony, what you're saying, I think, succinctly covers what I was trying to say earlier, that they pivot pretty quickly when a hero dies, but here we're getting the time we need to really grieve as an audience along with the characters. And that's so rare. It's one of the things that I think Rebels does really well, and has done better than other shows, animated or live action or whatever it was. Sherry, I agree with you. I think this is just as hard as Jedi Knight. Like, Jedi Knight is so action packed, and the gut punch comes at the end. This whole episode, we're then left with like the hurt that, like, we got punched, and now we're like feeling it throughout this entire episode.
Now, the thing I want to know is, does Hera know she's pregnant at this point?
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder what Vanessa would say. Because I bet you Dave, Vanessa would have asked Dave, and Dave would have been like, you don't know yet. Or remember when she was getting ready to leave and she was like, oh, there's something I want to tell you. And it wasn't I love you, because like they've already said that to each other. It was like, oh, I'm pregnant. So I feel like she might have known before she flew off to the mission.
Yeah.
So that would have been several episodes prior. So that's a theory that's out there, and I've seen other people reference that. I'm not sure. I don't know if they'll ever tell us, and I don't know if it matters that much, but it's an interesting question to ruminate on.
Yeah. If I ever meet Dave one day, I'll ask him. Like, it's fine. We only had a Rebel show for 2 years. We won't talk about it.
Yeah. I have to reach out to some people before the show ends. As a reminder, we'll be doing Rebels Revisited through September. And then we turn over to Clone Wars Revisited, which I'm so excited about. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, we have some spam in the comments. Sorry.
Oh, there's always something.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, definitely we'll have to. That'd be so much fun.
We should get started on the episode, though. So everyone get your Disney Plus ready, which mine is never ready. I always say, like, I'm going to get it together, and then I never do. But we're in Season 4, Episode 11, Doom.
Sorry.
I'm trying to load my Disney Plus. All right, everyone get your Disney Plus out. Season 4, Episode 12. Jeff, do you want to hit that countdown?
Blue spinny wheel. I didn't miss this.
I know. I'm in the same boat.
There we go.
We're already 20 seconds in, and I'm like still spinning. I have to actually like scrub my computer. I think I just have so many stupid files on here. I take a ton of photos and a ton of screenshots, and I actually got a thing saying my Google storage was like coming up against like their maximum or whatever. And I was like, what the hell is all this? We have shared albums with my family, and I had to do a whole cleanse over the weekend. It was a whole thing. All right, so we just get thrown right into the aftermath of what happened last time on Jedi Knight. And of course, like Mary Elizabeth McGlynn as the awesome Governor Price is not realizing just how badly she messed up. She feels very proud of herself. She killed the Jedi, and that's kind of all that matters to her. But like the fuel depot is destroyed. She thinks she's getting a parade. I think she's going to be like fired, if not worse, right?
Yeah. And Zeb and Chopper are excited to see them. This is heartbreaking. This is so hard.
Yeah.
Ugh. Zeb's like, no one will tell me what's going on.
Yeah, someone say something. Yeah, Sarah, I've been in a one-way feud with Governor Price for a while. In real life, though, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn is amazing. So I will say, if any of you guys have a chance to meet her, like put her on your list for sure. And she'll do the Price voice. She's just delightful too. Her and Steve.
Oh, Chopper holding her hand.
Oof, that logo. The logo in the white with the like burnt ash is just heartbreaking. That's only the second time they've ever changed the logo too, because we got that one really fun episode where they sort of did a Clone Wars kind of thing, where it was in yellow and it looked like the Clone Wars logo. Outside of that, like the logo has been consistently the orange lockup for the entire series.
Absolutely not, then.
I don't know how you make a decision after that. Ezra's right though that like the mission's completed. So from a Rebel Alliance perspective, Mon Mothma and the rest of the crew might think that Lothal is kind of sorted out, but they haven't actually liberated the planet, which was never really on the list of things to achieve. It was like just stop the TIE Defender program, basically, like, you know, sort of blow up the fuel depot or whatever it takes. Now it's actually happened.
I think it's kind of shitty because everyone's like, what do we do? What do we do? And it's like, these guys are grieving now.
Yep.
Like, their family member is gone.
Everyone needs a minute. We've also lost a lot of like nameless, faceless people over the course of the run of the show. Mm-hmm. They don't really get this level of grieving, of course.
Oh, hello, White Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why the wolf is being so sinister to him.
Mm-hmm. Gotta send him out to somewhere. The wolves are not exactly good communicators.
No, definitely not. What? Watching the love bulbs? You're too kidding. Yeah. Yeah, no. Use the force.
Yeah, they're not actually going to hurt him. He doesn't really realize that, though.
Right. Just kind of have to incapacitate him a little bit.
What was this performance review like when Governor Price was like, hey, imagine going to your boss and being like, you know, the thing you needed me to do? Well, I didn't do that, but I did blow up the place.
And I got Canon Jarrus.
Yeah.
So.
And we're going to have a parade.
For me. Just
Yeah,
for me.
just for me. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, the rebels win this, basically. And, you know.
Oh, he's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Usually his eyes are pretty chill, but...
He's right, though, that their weak link right now is Ezra. Strike out recklessly. Ezra's pretty good at that. We've seen that throughout the series. We actually haven't done our best of Ezra yet. For everyone who might be looking at our playlist, we've done best ofs for Kanan and Hera and Zeb, Chopper, Sabine. We're holding on Ezra since he really is the lead character. And as we get closer to the end of our run, we will be doing a best of Ezra. And I think some of his best moments come from those like crazy lash out kind of moments. Some are really funny, some are really angry, some are really scary. Some are poorly executed, which are some of the best. So that'll be a fun one. If anyone has any good Ezra moments they want to make sure we discuss, let us know in the comments. We're actually in the process of compiling this one because it's a big one. He's in every episode, you guys.
I thought there would be more time.
And then she goes on to blame herself. And it's not her fault, right? Like, these are the circumstances in which they were placed. Sherry, I'm inclined to agree with you that I think she knows she's pregnant at this point.
Yeah, because she's me and my family history.
Yeah.
And it's this scene is more than about her and her mom.
You know what I wish they would have done a little more with, and not in this episode, but it's just the setting that's reminding me. The cave paintings and a little bit more at the Force on Lethal, I would have loved just a little bit more with. I love the fact that we got a doorway to Mortis, which doesn't happen everywhere and shouldn't happen everywhere, but like there's got to be something to it that it happened on Lethal, and then Ahsoka comes to Lethal, and then she finds her way to this other planet where there, in theory, is some type of connection to Mortis. Those big giant statues are a clue.
Yeah.
So there's something here. By the way, we're going to do another rewatch of A World Between Worlds as we're making our way through these final episodes in Season 4. I know we did A World Between Worlds during our Summer of Snips. We're going to do it as a lead up to the finale as well. Especially now that the Ahsoka show has aired, I think rewatching that as a group will be really fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Anthony, I think you're onto something. In Season 2 of Ahsoka, if and when that comes out. And I think it is a when, not an if. Like, Season 2 of Ahsoka seems to be confirmed.
Yeah.
I think the most compelling story arc from that whole show was Baylan Skoll's mission, which turns out might be pointing him toward Mortis. So I think we're headed that way. Certainly the closing shot as we see the statues of the father, the son, and the daughter. I think that's a clue. There's also a rumor, and I don't do rumors for a few reasons. And I've said this before. Being a licensee, rumors aren't good for anyone.
No.
And two, sometimes I know things. And so the last thing I want to do is speculate, and rumors are speculation. In this case, I can clearly say that I don't know anything. And two, this rumor has been widely discussed, and a lot of people have talked about how they think it's kind of nonsense, but I think it also has some type of logical tie to what happened. So I'll just put it out there. In season 2 of Ahsoka, there's a thought that the mother might appear, which would be Adelon. So we know about Mortis' father, son, and daughter from the Mortis arc episodes in Clone Wars. And then there's also the mother, who Mike has actually talked about extensively on, I think, either Jedi Archives or Unifying Force, as like an evil entity called Adelon that the other three had to like trap and bind or whatever.
Right.
Is she going to appear in Ahsoka season 2? You know, we love an evil witch. There's a bunch of them. Abeloth. See, I can't pronounce anything. I've been saying Adelon for days now, Skip. So is that going to happen? I don't know. Is she going to appear? I don't know. Are we going to actually make it to Mortis? I don't know. Are they going to abandon all of the Balin Skull stuff? Possibly, because what are we going to do without Rey? So
Unless it goes into animated form.
I would love to see a continuation like that. I think that'd be very cool. But yeah, that's something that's out there. And one of the reasons it's top of mind for me is we're going to be dealing with Mortis, at least the idea of Mortis in the Rebels finale and the episodes leading up to it pretty soon.
Imagine having this guy in your face.
Yeah. I never liked him, but I'm also not an EU hardcore person the way that lots of other people, like, there are people who like live and die for Rook, and he does nothing for me in this show or elsewhere, where other people are like, he's like the coolest guy and he got done dirty in Rebels. I will agree that he got done dirty in Rebels, but I got nothing prior to that for me to care enough.
Yeah.
But I know there are other people in the fandom who are like Rook stans.
It looks like a baby Rancor. Zeb.
He's creepy. I also think that he gets vanquished too easily and doesn't get used to his full potential. You know, yeah, Skip, you're right. He's not the same as what we saw in the EU. And again, I've read very little of the EU and didn't like much of what I read. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, I'm one of those. I find it weird and contradictory, and I don't really love the cloning of Palpatine, which, you know, have all the stupid stuff to come back from the EU. They made the cloning of Palpatine a thing. So for me, I'm kind of like, whatever. But Thrawn is great. Thrawn is terrific.
See,
He's my favorite part of Heir to the Empire.
I am of the theory that The Rise of Skywalker is what happens when EU stands take over the current franchise.
I don't know. I think that episode 9 is what happens when too many streams get crossed together. Like, they were like, oh, we need to give them some EU stuff to shut them up because everyone complained so heavily about The Last Jedi. But then they didn't actually have a place to put this stuff. So it just seemed really out of place.
I love the sky.
The wolves are just incredible.
The blue eyes, the mark on his forehead.
I mean, it's Kanan coming to Ezra through the Force, or the Force letting Ezra have like a little goodbye moment with Kanan.
Yeah.
The wolves can do it all, and I'm not mad about it. Like, let them exercise whatever powers they have.
Yeah.
Sabine's helmet's looking good.
Love it.
Our Sabine helmets are working, finally.
Yeah.
They're going to be shipping in the next couple months, and then we're working on a series finale version of the helmet as well, which will be similar to the paint job that you see in the Ahsoka TV show, so that we'll have 3 Sabine helmets at Denuo.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I really want to see the purple yellow one, like the season 4 proper version, on shelf, because we're so close, and it's the kind of thing where it's just like dragged for such a long time.
I know. I'll have to get one.
Yeah, you got to add it to the season 2. I think the season 4 finale might be the best paint job, though, even though we only see it for a minute.
I'm partial to the season 3 helmet, but any excuse to have a Sabine anything is totally fine with me. Oh,
It's really sad for Ezra.
I love how the wolf is just being comforting. Hmm.
And that's the answer. Fight together. What's my thing that I always say about One Way Out? It's not up, it's together.
Yep. There it is. Gotta fight. Protect the Jedi Temple. This is very Predator.
Yeah, his camouflage thing, I don't love, but
Why didn't she just put her helmet back on?
Yeah.
it got
What
kicked
the
away
hell?
from her, didn't it?
It definitely got knocked off. I don't know where it went, but that would be my first thing is since you could see with it, see where he was. There we go.
Because then
This-
she wouldn't be able to do that.
yeah, this works too.
Like,
Oh, man.
don't let him stop. Kill him, please.
Again, everybody's expressing their griefs in different ways.
Yeah, I like that he leans into the anger. Ezra just falls into hopelessness. Hera's just sad. So, Anthony, I think you're asking a great question here. Are the wolves neutral like the Bendu, or are they taking sides? I would honestly say that they are light-sided, despite the fact that they seem scary. Like they've been helping Ezra and Kanan throughout, and they're a part of Lothal, and Lothal has a strong connection to the Force. And while the Force could be thought of as neutral, they're actively fighting the Empire at most turns. All of the creatures, and when you stack them up, where it's like the wolf on top of the Lothcan on top of the wolf, and at one point I think we see the Convor as well.
Yep.
Like they're all kind of aligned nature against the Empire, so nature against machinery and whatnot. And Kanan is definitely working through this wolf. It's still just a little bit scary, and I think that's always a lesson, right? Like, don't be afraid or don't succumb to the fear, right?
It's so weird that the wolf was like snarling at him, but
Yeah, there's still wolves, you know.
like maybe like Kanan was losing the connection and just it's crazy.
I love the planet of Lothal. I do want to go back there for more stories, especially post Empire, because there's so much mystical stuff, or really early. Like imagine a time like High Republic or pre prequels. You know, there's a bunch of different time periods out there now where like the
Yeah.
Force is really strong and there's an active Jedi temple. We know Jedi have gone there. Jedi have died there too. We saw that in season 1 of
Mhm.
Rebels. This is a really interesting place, and the wildlife is has wolves that can sort of walk through hyperspace, sort of similar to the Purgles. Like, there's a lot to be done here. I wouldn't mind there being a trip to Lethal in something like an Acolyte season 2.
Oh
You
yeah, that'd
know,
be
we're just
amazing.
the Jedi are just sort of hanging out, visiting cool places that are hotspots for the Force. Like, imagine a dark side user who wants to find light side powerhouse locations. Lethal would have to be on the list.
Oh.
I love this callback to Mortis. Now, I didn't immediately pick up on that when it aired because it's not clearly the father, the son, and the daughter. It's, it's three
Yeah.
hands. And then someone said it, and I was like, that makes perfect sense. But
Yeah.
the way they activate the mural and everything, amazing.
I have those hands on a green T-shirt that I got from Celebration Anaheim, and it was perfect timing because it was right when everything started.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've got to get one of those too. This was my latest geeky T-shirt pickup, and then I need to get some stuff from our own channel as well. I got to get my stuff sorted for San Diego Comic-Con and dress up and everything. I told you I'm working on my Ezra cosplay.
Yes.
Not a whole lot to it yet. Nothing's really changed since last time, but my friend Colin from Corellia Cosplay hooked me up with a shirt
Oh,
and
he just
some
started
armor
following me
pieces.
on Instagram, so that's cool. Hi, Colin.
He's fantastic. If he's in the chat, hey Colin. So I gotta do him justice, by the way, because he looks really good, and I am nowhere near anywhere where I need to be with my actual outfit or anything. So it might be a very light cosplay. Also, who knows? The Earth is melting, and wearing clothes
As
was just
evidence.
miserable.
Yeah.
In general, this past week. So I was at work today, and I was like sweating through my dress shirt, and I was like, "This is terrible."
You guys don't have central air.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? It's like there are hot spots in the office, right? Some
Oh,
places
yeah.
it's really cold, and then other places it's really hot, and it's just too much. Yeah. But yeah, amazing episode. Devastating. I like that everyone got a little bit of screen time to grapple with this. We're still going to see it continue into the next episode, but we have clear next steps. Up next is Wolves in a Door, which is, I think, one of the best of the series, and it
Oh,
ties to
yeah.
Mortis. It explains the brick that we saw at the end with the three hands. Sabine uses her art history knowledge and her her academic skills. We're usually used to her
Yeah.
seeing her blow shit up, but we're gonna watch her do some real deductive reasoning to figure out the Mortis situation here at the temple. And everyone's gonna work together and get Ezra into the world between worlds. So we're nearing the end game over here, people.
Right.
I just want to
And
bring up something real quick. I'm looking at the credits,
Mhm.
and the main page with Taylor and Vanessa and Tia and Steve then lists, of course, as himself Chopper. So they don't say it's Filoni.
Mhm.
And then there's a couple more people. Then it says the Force is who played Doom. And then it says, where's the next one? Dave Filoni is listed as Imperial Officer number 2, and then as himself, White Lothwolf. It's like these
Yeah, they
weird,
wouldn't give that credit away
ambiguous,
either.
trippy
Yeah.
versions of the credits that they did.
Chopper was never revealed to be Dave until the very end, which was like
the
the worst kept secret
finale.
in all of Rebels, right?
Yeah.
Kanan, or I should say Freddy, did do the line read for Doom, is what I understand, the wolf in this one. But they didn't want to have his name in the credits because they just killed him, right?
That makes sense.
And then I don't know about the White Loth Wolf. I would assume that's Dave again. That just sounds like something he would do. Or you bring in someone like a Sam to just like off the books, additional voices kind of situation.
Sam has already got 3 credits on this.
Yeah, that tracks. He's amazing. You can bring in Sam for everything.
Right.
And this show, look, they take everything super seriously. This season is there's no holding back, right? Like they killed a major character, they let us grieve about it. They're treating us like grown-ups, which is such a different tone from like the first half of the first season where they were sort of courting tweens and pre-tweens and all that. They're like, oh hey, it turns out full-grown actual adults are really interested in this show. Let's give them that content, see if they can see if the kids who came along for the ride can handle it.
And having a lot of not only voice actors but like character actors that adults love, like Malcolm McDowell, obviously Ian McDiarmid, um, Clancy Brown, having these iconic actors come in and just be voice actors for this series. It's further proof that Star Wars is really for everyone.
Yeah.
It can be geared towards kids, but as long as you're helping out the adults too, it's awesome.
When we were talking last week, for anyone who missed us last week, we did a listicle of our favorite guest stars. We define that as 3 or fewer episodes, because after you hit like a 4th or 5th, you're basically in the like recurring batch. And there are people who do like 10 to 15 episodes or whatever.
Yeah,
That's sort of
Clancy.
like your Clancy Brown kind of situation. But yeah, they spend the money on bringing in some big names and some real people returning from Star Wars, like Ian, like Billy D. Williams. Like there's a bunch of them. But yeah, I thought this episode, as we already know, is by far one of the best in the whole series, and it really just sets up the stakes for what we're doing for these last few. I can't believe we're nearing the end. It's kind of crazy, but we are stretching it out, you guys. Even though there's just a few episodes left of actual Rebels, we have a lot going on. This week we did Doom. We are going to do another watch along next week. We have Wolves in a Door, so we will be continuing, because then the week after that, we have to weigh in on the Acolyte. Because the Acolyte will be airing on the finale. Will be coming out on Wednesday, the 17th of July. So really soon, 11. We're like 9 days away. So 2 weeks from now, we will do our Acolyte finale review, and then it'll be time for the family vacation. So we'll have our pre-record, and then we'll talk about the family vacation, and then we'll get back to the rest of the watch-alongs with like A World Between Worlds, A Fool's Hope, and everything else. It's kind of crazy.
Is Tuesday. Sorry, you said Wednesday.
Oh, I said Wednesday. Yeah, sorry, Tuesday. I keep thinking it's a Wednesday show. Like it's the kind of thing where
it's a trip that you say that because like I was checking on Agatha to see when that was going to air, and that's going to be back to Wednesday for that show.
Ooh.
So it's probably going to be a midnight drop for that one if they move it to Wednesday as well.
I really want it to be like 9 p.m. prime time. Tune in, and all the girls and the gays can just get on Twitter, or not a Twitter, Instagram, or Reels, or some Threads or something, and we can all actually like talk to each other when it's happening. Like that would be fun.
Yeah. That's like, what's nice about the we don't during the show, but after show the support group is a really good place to sort of have your thoughts fresh and air them right there.
Yep. Yeah, I got to try to join, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday for sure. That'll be the one to be at, the finale. And I believe the after show team is going to try to do a live watch along of the finale. We're trying to figure that out. So TBD before we do our actual watch along on Thursday as well. Yeah, so we're going to have wall-to-wall Acolyte coverage over here, you guys.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, so what's coming up? What are the things we need to plug? Family vacation is 3 weeks away, as we've mentioned. So go back and watch all of our celebrating autographs to see all of the information. Again, the vacation starts on Monday, July 29th. It goes through Friday, August 2nd. It's going to be so much fun. Tomorrow is happy hour. And as Jeff said, we always do a little post-Acolyte regroup right afterwards for therapy session. So up on Zoom. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Wednesday, we have Daughters of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Ashley, what are we talking about?
So this week we are jumping into something we both haven't really covered yet, and we're discussing the Tales of the Empire. And from what I gather, Jamie's going to have some thoughts on it. So it's going to be good. So
interesting characters, because we talked a little bit about Barriss Offee when we did our Barriss and Luminara combo, but now we have all this new story from that. And then Morgan Elsbeth, who, being part of the Night Sisters, and, and now we're seeing more and more witches and more interpretations of the Force. It should be exciting stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to discuss it and finish watching the last few episodes, and which as you know, I never got around to finishing it, but I will definitely do so before Wednesday. So discuss with us. It's
going to be fun. And then Wednesday, so Wednesday, Daughters of the Galaxy. Then Thursday, Acolyte Acolyte episode 7.
Yes.
Watch along on Thursday. So Jeff, do you know who's going to be on the panel Thursday? Is it you, Spencer, and Dave?
As far as I know, right now it's the standard 3. There's no substitutes this week.
All right,
Cool.
terrific.
Very
And then Friday we've got the Acolyte episode 7 after show. So that's John and Mike and Bryce. And of course that's a pre-record hitting at midnight.
Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah, Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern. And then Sunday, we have a new episode of The Unifying Force where they're doing their Acolyte finale prediction. So, like I said, wall-to-wall Acolyte coverage throughout the network. And then, as I mentioned, we're back next week with another watch-along for Wolves in a Door. Whew, I
Which is
love
a
Wolves in a
fun
Door. That might
episode.
be one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, mine too. I'm an art history buff. I minored in it in college, and having Sabine talk to this crazy art historian that Palpy's got working for him, it's awesome, and you keep
It all
getting
circles
into
back, too, to like what Minister Tua was saying in the very beginning, where she knew the real reason the Emperor was on Lothal. And it's like, we're finding out right now, and it'll be revealed very
See, it
soon.
just takes time. There's
Yeah.
no rushing everything.
Yeah, exactly. Let the mystery
Necessary.
build. We're getting there on Acolyte too. We got 2 more episodes. Is Vernistra Rowe the secret villain? I don't think so. They're not going to do her dirty like that. But did she kick Manny Jacinto out of the Jedi Order? Probably. And did she whip him with that light whip? And possibly when he
yeah.
wasn't looking, when he was unarmed, in his mind, like, how do you take down a Jedi without a weapon? She might have struck him when he didn't have a weapon or something. Who knows? There's any number of things. Is she
Yeah.
covering up this big, like, fire that killed all these witches, and maybe the Jedi were more responsible for this than the kids? Possibly. There's a lot there. The whole point is that the
Yeah.
Jedi aren't perfect. We're not saying they're the villains or they're the bad guys, but the point is that they're not above scrutiny, and they think they are. They think they're above the law because they make the laws, and it turns out that they are not. That's the thesis of the show. So
Right.
this seems obvious to me. Why is this so hard? Like, I hate to be that guy where I feel like I'm being a dick about it, but like, this doesn't seem like a really challenging thesis, right? Am I
Yeah.
hallucinating that this is not that difficult?
No, it's just there are certain things that they're not willing to let go, and everything's a plot hole. And when it's like you keep using that word,
Yeah.
I don't think it means what you say it means.
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, Sarah, I think the scar on the back looked like a lightning attack. I don't know. I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I watched Aang and Zuko get hit by lightning, and
This seems too
lightning.
precise, and it looks like
Yeah.
a whip. And we see the whip in the same episode. They reveal the scar. That's why I think Sarah there.
And she
But
knows
here's
exactly in the manner because of the manner in which these Jedi were killed, who did it.
yeah. So
Just saying.
Anthony is saying that people who read the High Republic are comfortable with the weaknesses of the Jedi Order. It's these like weirdly prequel stands who are like, the Jedi, they're untouchable. And I was like, did you watch those movies? They're a bunch of morons. Did you watch
Yeah.
the Clone Wars? They're stupid. Like, at every turn, you want to punch Yoda square in the face. Like, I've never thought that Yoda was good. Like, I've disliked him since, like, from a certain point of view kind of timing.
Yeah.
Like, I've always disliked Yoda. And then they prove it in the prequels. They double down on him being useless. Like,
Cringy.
and he's supposed to be so wise, but like I think that's another fallacy. And he talks about it when he meets Luke in The Last Jedi, when he's like, you learn through failure. I've had a ton of failures. And like, yeah, we watched all of them on screen. I watched it happen. I watched you get your ass kicked by
Number one.
Palpatine. I watched you like let all this happen. And how many Jedi died like during this mess because no one was willing to listen because they were not attuned. Like the dark side had fallen, whatever, the shroud of the dark side had fallen. But like, whose fault is that, Yoda? I mean, they address it head on in Clone Wars Season 6 when they send him on his little like mission where he's like, you remember he discovers like the dark side of himself and he has to answer all those tough questions of like, why were you so willing to jump into the war so easily? Aren't you like as responsible for this as like the dark side is? And he's like grappling with that, and you never really get like a satisfying conclusion to that because it's meant to be an open-ended sort of philosophical question, like, can you really be serving the light side of the Force while also
But it's
engaging
also
in war?
it's like an inner monologue with Yoda as well, because he's
Yeah.
questioning, okay, did we really need to get in this? Is this how it is? Is this
Mhm.
what we should have done? He's got a million questions and no answers.
Yeah.
So
And I love that. And I
Yeah.
like, look, I don't think being a pacifist is the answer. We saw how that went for Mon Mothma in the
Mhm.
sequel timing. The demilitarization of the Empire leads to the dark side rising again. But then everyone who's a Jedi joining the war also leads to the dark side winning. So there's
Mhm.
almost like the actions were both, you took the opposite actions and you got the same outcome, that's terrible, right? That sucks.
Yeah.
But like the point of it is not the outcome. It's the point that like, how do I articulate this? The Jedi thought they were 100% in the right and wouldn't listen to any criticism, and that's what led them to where they were. And I think that's true of Mon Mothma as well.
Being
Like she wasn't
humorous.
listening to,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Yeah, agreed. So Sarah's got it right on. The Jedi is supposed to be philosophy and religion, and then they incorporate it into politics and war, and
Yes.
we see how
So
well
it's
that goes.
proof of how things are now as well.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see more of this. I love it. I
Yeah.
love the fact, by the way, I like the Jedi. I'm not going to say I dislike the Jedi. I like the idea of the Jedi. I love having an organized, religious, philosophical body that helps you explain the mystical magic stuff that's in your universe. I think that makes a lot of sense. I like the teacher student dynamic. I like that there are like rules and colors and all this kind of stuff that you can like faction yourself into, like Harry Potter sorting house. Like these things are cool and they give you world building that make a lot of sense. It's also not perfect, and that's the point. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are like leaning on this, like you're making the Jedi look bad. And I was like, no, they are bad. They're like bad at what they do. They're clumsy and like not great at it. And they sort of come parachuting into a place that isn't theirs, saying, we demand that you let us test your child for
Yeah.
midichlorians. We're just going to take their blood real quick. Like, who does that? I'm going to come visit your house and be like, hey, give me your kid. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's like
I'm fired up.
certain levels of religion
Yeah.
and the real world. It's
Thinly veiled.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me crazy too. So, that's true. Sarah's right though. They were in charge for 1,000 generations, and I will give you that. And that's why they have so much hubris, right? It's what we're at the point of the tipping point of it starting to turn.
It's like America, and we've been a country for almost 300 years, and blah 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 blah. We're the best country in the world, and no.
Yeah, China's been around for thousands. Plenty of other countries in Europe have lasted through multiple monarchies and democracies and whatever else.
Yeah.
Empires come and go. The Roman Empire was gigantic, and now it is Italy. Like, things expand and contract. What I like about this is that we're seeing like the prequels are the start of like the real fall, right? But now we're at a point where like this is close to their height, and we're starting to see the cracks. Like we're not falling off a cliff. The prequels were a fall off the cliff and it's over. You were watching someone die. Here you're watching someone get a staph infection, maybe. Like it's going to be a very different kind of like maybe they twisted their ankle. This is the ankle twist. And it's like, what do you mean I can't twist my ankle? That's where we are right now in the timeline, and I love it. And I also love that it's making so many people angry. Like because it just shows that people don't have media literacy the way they used to. Or more people are just voicing their stupid opinions. I can't tell which one it is.
Just for attention.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, for hate, like hating things gets you a lot more money, which is sad. Which is why I like this group. We are people who like things. We're people who get along, and when we don't like something, I think it's easy to have dialogue with like what they like or dislike about something, and we're all respectful of each other's opinions. There are things that I don't like in the fandom, and there are things I love in the fandom, and despite that, none of us in the comments are like threatening each other or avoiding each other or trying not to be friends. It's like.
Right.
What do we love about Star Wars? Pretty much all of it, and we're gonna geek out together, and enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sherry.
This group is a good group. That's why I'm here. So yeah.
Facts.
And why we do this every Monday night. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're at 68 now, Sarah. Can you believe it? 68,000 members. This is crazy. It's like unheard of. And it is really like 68,000 really good people. I got to tell you, I'm going on this trip. I'm staying with Mike. I'm jumping in Spencer's rented car. I'm mailing things to Mike's house, like I was joking about doing a few weeks ago. Like we're all helping each other out with stuff. Like it's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of just like people helping each other out, even with like the smallest things. So I love being a part of this group. It's a good time.
Yeah,
and it gets you away from like the stupid YouTube nonsense too.
Oh,
Meanwhile, I just realized we are so over time. I thought we ended on time, and then I went on a rant. So this was my fault. But thank you everyone for staying with us and for listening to the insanity. Oh yeah, make sure you go to Hyperspace Props. They are the headline sponsor for the VCN Family Vacation. They make some awesome stuff. I know that Ashley has their goggles that they did for Hera. Did you say that they were 3D printed?
Yeah, so they're 3D printed. They arrived in pieces, really, like everything.
And then you painted them.
I put them together. I
Yep.
painted them. I add the elastics.
Very cool.
They're pretty damn awesome.
I need to see if they can help me with any Ezra stuff. If there's anyone in the comments who has any good leads on like sorting out my Ezra costume, I need to find like a good pair of pants. Is the next step. I have a shirt and I have some body armor. There's a
Find
few
the good
places I'm
soft
looking.
goods. Please.
Yeah, you would think I work for a costume company, I'd be able to pull this together, but I'm doing like real work at work, so I can't be having them be like, "Hey guys, solve my cosplay." Like that's not a good look. So I'm gonna do this on my own. But thank you to Hyperspace Props for everything and for all of our sponsors for the family vacation. As a reminder, if you visit them, you can use code BUNTA and you'll get 10% off your order. And thank you to everyone who's sponsoring the family vacation. We've got such a great group of people here, including some people who are part of the VCN family whose businesses have sponsored the vacation. Like that's incredible, you guys.
Ski Pruckle. I
Ski
see
Pruckle. Yep. It's kind of wild. But I think that's it for this week.
Yeah. Ski Pruckle, because Harrison said so. Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you guys again for joining us, and make sure you check out the therapy group tomorrow on Zoom to discuss.
Oh yeah, we'll
the
see you there for sure.
And remember, no spoilers for 48 hours after watching it tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Have a great week, guys, and may the force be with you.
Bye, guys.